In this lecture, we are going to discuss the product of two subgroups. Let we have two subgroups. First is H having some elements. Let us suppose this has elements A, B, and there is one more subgroup which is K, which is having the elements alpha, beta, and gamma. If you want to write the product of H and K, then it will be written as HK, and the elements will be written in this order. That first this A will be multiplied in all these three elements. It means you will write here A alpha, A beta, A gamma. After multiplying this A in these three variables, then you will multiply this B into these three elements. That will be B alpha, B beta, this is B beta, and B gamma. You can write these elements at any place in this group, in this product. It means in this bracket you can write A alpha first, or B alpha second, or B alpha first and A alpha in last. You can write these elements in anywhere. As you know that in a set, elements can be written at any order, but you cannot change the order of these two elements. It means B alpha will not be necessarily equal to B alpha B. B alpha will not be equal to alpha B. It may be, if you are taking a commutative group, then it may be equal, but if this group is not commutative, H and K both are not commutative, then this result will not be true, or it will not be guaranteed to be true. So you have to be very careful. If you are writing H in first, then all elements of H will be written in first order. So this is the definition, and here I have written that the order of H and K has their significance. Now we have to discuss one more theorem. In this theorem, it is stated that H and K are two subgroups of G. Here G is a group and H and K, these are two subgroups. Mathematically you can write this sentence in this style. If H is less than G, it means sometimes it is known as H is the subgroup of G, and here we can say that K is the subgroup of G. Then HK will be also a subgroup. It means the product of H with K will be a subgroup of G if HK is equivalent to KH. It means if this product is commute, then HK will be a subgroup. Now we wish to prove this theorem. We can prove this theorem. If you want to write HK equivalent to KH, then you have to written it into two way. First, HK is the subset of KH and KH is the subset of HK. Then HK and KH will be equivalent. So first I will consider one element in this part and I will show this in right. First I will consider any element in HK and then I will show it in KH. Similarly again I will consider any element in KH and then I will show it in HK. Let us suppose X be the element of HK. And please note it here. Here we are considering that HK is a subgroup and we want to prove this equivalency. Here we are taking that HK is a subgroup. X is belongs to HK because HK is a subgroup. So the inverse of any element will also be exist. So X inverse will also be exist because HK is a subgroup. So what will be the nature of X inverse? Because the element of HK are the product of the element of this H and the element of K. Here we have assumed that H is the element of H and the small k is the element of K. So the nature of X inverse will be as HK. Now this X will be written as the inverse of X inverse, and the value of X inverse is HK, and you can distribute this inverse in reversal order. So this S is equivalent to K inverse H inverse. We are assuming that X is equal to X inverse equivalent to HK. So H will be equivalent to X will be equivalent to K inverse H inverse. Here you are noticing that the K is appearing first and H is appearing in last. So this will be the element of KH, because here please note that K be a subgroup, HB is also a subgroup. So the K inverse will be also belongs to K and H inverse will belongs to H, because these are subgroups, and if these are subgroups, then they will satisfy inverse axiom. So here this composition will be available in KH. It means we have shown that the X is also the element of KH. So initially we have started with assumption that X is belongs to HK, and we have shown that the x is the element of kh. So we can say that the all element of hk are available in kh. So hk will be the subset of kh. Again, we will assume one element in this kh and then we wish to show that in hk. Student, please note that this approach which we have used here cannot be used here, because in this case it is given that hk be a subgroup. hk be a subgroup, so you have used this inverse assumption, but it is not given that here KH is a subgroup, so you cannot take here the inverse approach. Please note it, HK is a subgroup which we have assumed in to prove the necessary condition, but KH is not a subgroup, so you cannot apply here the inverse approach. So to prove this statement, we will use here Y belongs to KH. So what will be the nature of this Y? It means it will be the product of two elements. First is K and second is H. The first element will belongs to K and the second element will belong to H. So we have used here K1 H1. K1 can be written as the inverse of K1 inverse, and similarly here. Now we have again used here the reversal property of inverse. By this approach, we can say that this H inverse, the inverse of H inverse, this is the element of capital H and this is the element of capital H. So this Y will be the element of HK. Please note it here. This H inverse, this is the element of H. K inverse will be the elements of K. So finally we can say that H inverse and K inverse, this will be the element of HK, because HK is a subgroup. So its inverse, the inverse of H inverse and K inverse, we have by closure property we are saying that this is the element of HK, and by inverse axiom we can say that its inverse will also belongs to HK, because HK is a given subgroup. So here we have shown that Y is also belongs to HK. So again we have proved any element which is belonging to KH is shown in HK. So KH is also a subset of HK. So here we can say that HK and KH are equivalent by using equation first and second. This is the required result. Now to prove the converse part, we will prove HK equal to KH. This is our initial assumption, and now we will show that HK is a subgroup of Z. As we know that H is a subgroup, K is a subgroup, so at least identity will belongs to H and K. And H and K, these are the subgroups of Z. So the identity cannot be more than two. So identity is always unique. So the identity of Z will also be available in K and will also be available in H. So at least a one common element E will be belongs to their product HK. So HK cannot be empty. Let us assume that there are two elements which are belonging X and Y, which are available in HK. So the nature of X will be equal to HK and the nature of Y will be equal to H dash K dash. This is our assumption. Now what will be the product of these two, X and Y? This will be written here, and here we are applying the associative property. Now please note this part, KH dash. What will be KH dash? KH dash will belongs to KH, because the first element is belongs to K and the second element belongs to H. So this will belongs to KH, and KH is equivalent to HK. So these elements will belongs to HK. Please note it. This is the element which also belongs to HK. So this can be written as another type H1 and K1, because if this is the element of HK, so the element of H will be written first and the element of K will be written in last. So we have assumed that this is equivalent to H1 K1, and after apply associative property, we can write it as the H2 K2. So XY is equal to H2 K2, and this is the style that this element is belongs to HK. So XY is belonging to HK. Again we have assumed that let us suppose X belong to H, then we wish to show that X inverse is belonging to H. So this X inverse can be proved in HK in this approach, and by using third and fourth, this is the closure property, this is the inverse property, and the remaining property identity is also proven here as we have assumed initially, and these are the elements of G, so they will follow the associative property. So here HK will be a subgroup of Z.